hot chocolate, not coffee. Hello everybody. It's been a good while since I uploaded a sailing video last time. Right now I'm here in my little cabin in north of Sweden doing some skiing and stuff. But I figured that I could do some sailing videos as well because I got a lot of experience now in long distance sailing since my last sail down to the Caribbean. So I got some knowledge and I got some experience that I thought that I want to share with you guys. So I figured I'd make a few videos about just practical things when you want to go long distance sailing, what kind of boat you could look at, what kind of things that's good to think about when you're purchasing a boat, where it's nice to go sailing, that I think it's nice to go sailing, and yeah, just stuff like that basically around long distance sailing. So I figured I'd start with spots, sailing spots around the West Indies and the Caribbean where I've been sailing. I'm gonna go for top 3, like third place first, then second, and then first, the absolutely best place I went sailing in the West Indies. 3, it's gonna be Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is, it's a little bit like in-betweener, like it's not in the West Indies and it's not close to the USA, not close to Cuba really. So it's kind of in a void where it's situated. But whether you're going to the USA or from the USA to the West Indies, you gotta pass Puerto Rico at some point. And I think Puerto Rico is just an amazing island in many ways. You got the big main island, and then you have Vieques and Culebra. 3 islands, quite different to each other. Culebra and Vieques are quite similar with a lot of sandy beaches, tropical. You got like this bioluminescent base in Vieques. But I think the big island is actually the best thing with Puerto Rico because it's so big and it's so variated around the islands. You got long sandy beaches with good surf. You get huge mangrove swamps in the south, and you got like kind of big cities, kind of nice culture, the Latino, all the music, all the dancing, and in all that mix you also got amazing diving. You got cave system, like one of the biggest cave systems in the whole world I think, which is just insane. When you're trying to explore that cave system, you just find cave after cave after cave. It's insane. You also got quite a bit of waterfalls and nice lush rainforests in there in the mix as well. So I would say Puerto Rico got like more or less everything that a long distance sailor could actually ask for. It's a really nice and good mix of everything. You got a lot of wildlife as well, so there's so much to Puerto Rico, and I think a lot of people actually overlook Puerto Rico as a sailing destination because it's kind of stuck in between Dominican Republic, Bahamas, and the West Indies, which is also very good sailing destinations. But I think a lot of people actually forget about Puerto Rico, which is, I would say, almost even better than the surrounding areas to sail in. Number 2. This one is pretty hard, but it has to be the Spice Island, Grenada. The most southern island that I've been to, which means that it also located south of the hurricane belt. So during the hurricane season, Grenada is running a super low risk of actually getting hit by a proper hurricane, which is also one of the main reasons why it's so popular in the off season. That means also that Grenada has this amazing community of sailors, like sailors from the whole world gather during the off season on Grenada to just take care of their boats, just slow down a little bit, take it easy, and just have a good time, meet other sailors, plan for the next sailing season basically. So Grenada is an amazing place to just take it easy meet a lot of amazing sailors, and at the same time it's also a super nice nature island with a lot of waterfalls, rainforest, some volcanic activity. They got this underwater volcano called Kikim Jenny, which is still active, so it has a few smaller eruptions every now and then. You also got this underwater sculpture park with amazing diving. It's a nice, varied island. It got more or less everything. It's not super good at anything, I would say, except for the community. The sailing community is probably the best one in the whole Caribbean. But except for that, it's kind of like it's nice and smooth in most ways, but it doesn't hit the jackpot at any point, you could say. It's very nice, and it's a place where you could definitely get stuck for a long time because it's so welcoming, having a good time. It's not complicated at all, basically. Then we get to the jackpot, the number one spot, and this one might be a little bit surprising for some of you. I don't know, but for me it was super clear. This is by far the best sailing destinations in the West Indies for me, and it is Dominica. It's, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just, when I think about Dominica, I get goosebumps all over my body. Like, there's so much amazing things with this island. I think it has like 365 creeks or rivers or so on this island. So one river per day in the year, basically, which is just amazing because it's not really a big island, but it has so much nature. It's called a nature island for a reason. It has really much volcanic activity. I don't think it has any volcano that's actually erupting at the moment or active in that way, but it has a lot of hot springs and the boiling lake, which is the second biggest boiling lake in the world, and just rainforest everywhere, basically, and just untouched rainforest as well. So if you're walking out in the rainforest in Dominica, you're gonna be like, yeah, this is proper untouched rainforest. This is how it's supposed to be. This is lush, and basically no people go there. Like, some people go on the main trails, hiking trails, but outside of that, basically no tourists ever go, more or less, on Dominica. Then you got Soufriere, which is super cool area, underwater volcanic crater with amazing diving, especially free diving, just walls everywhere, coral reefs. I think there's pretty big whale, what's it called, a group of whales kind of hanging around in the whale season around Dominica, so you can go whale watching as well. You can go surfing on the east coast. It's amazing. I don't know what more to say. There's so much, and on top of all of this amazing nature, you got the people living in Dominica is just so friendly. It's definitely the most friendly people I met in the Caribbean. They're really just welcoming and humble, and it's obvious that they're just nice, like genuinely nice. They don't want any money from you necessarily, and they're just themselves, and they're just nice, basically, and that's something that's not super duper common everywhere where you go sailing. But on Dominica, people are genuinely nice, and they just want to speak and get to know you. Compared to Grenada, which is amazing sailing community, on Dominica it's a little bit more rugged and wild, and the sailing community is not really big on Dominica, so you, except for sailors, you rather speak a lot to the locals and get to know the locals, and then basically go out, explore the nature, because the nature is super amazing. Yeah, if you like nature, just sail to Dominica and stay there for a while, because it's there's so much to explore. I've been trying to explore as much as I possibly can on Dominica, but I still got so much left which I haven't seen. And one more thing is that they have these indigenous people living on the East Coast as well. I didn't go there, but there's this little village with the indigenous people still living there, and I think that's basically the only place in the West Indies where there still are a small community of indigenous people, which is also really cool. So yeah, that's the list. Puerto Rico number 3, Grenada number 2, and on the hotspot it's Dominica. A lot of, like, the other islands are also amazing in so many ways. You got, for just mentioning a couple, it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is also a lot of nature and a lot of coral reefs and sandy beaches and turtles and amazing stuff like that. You also got the French islands, Martinique and Guadeloupe, which is, yeah, just as well a lot of nature. A little bit more developed because of they're part of France, these islands. So a little bit more developed into the Western world, you could say, which is good when it comes to buying stuff and buying food and stuff like that. But except for that, I think the more English speaking islands are a little bit nicer to sail to than the French islands. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up if it was good, and if it wasn't good, leave a comment, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna see what's gonna come up next. I think it could be something addressing boats, but I'm not sure. But I'll see you soon. Cheers.